Hello, lovely people, and welcome to the Almita Made channel. My name is Alma, and I'm here to talk about all things making, mainly sewing. So welcome back to my channel for everyone who's been watching for a while. Welcome for the first time. If you're new here, I'm so happy you found me. Today I'm going to be showing you some things that I've made, and they are a little bit different in the sense that they have been in my head or in my to sew pile for quite a while, and I've only just got around to doing them. So I'm feeling quite proud of that because they could have been abandoned forever, but they weren't. So it's been a good week in that sense. So I'm going to start with the first thing, which is something for myself that I'm so happy about. I can't believe it's taken me this long to make it. So the story of this garment, and you know there's always a story if you've been watching for a while, everything has a story. The story of this one, it is the top of the Saturday skirt set pattern by Friday Pattern Company. And it is a pattern that, especially the top, the whole set is nice, but I'm actually not that into skirts. I don't make skirts that often. I don't wear skirts that often. But the top, I really fell in love with as soon as it came out. And I made it fairly soon after the pattern came out. And I loved it and hated it at the same time. This is what happened. I made it in pink, which I was very happy about, loved it. But I used the fabric, and I do not know to this day what exactly was that fabric. But it was definitely synthetic because I thought this is something that I'm probably going to wear a lot layered on top of other things. So if it is polyester, I don't mind as much. Usually I prefer natural fibers, but you know, for this one I thought it can be a little thing that I throw on. So maybe polyester will be fine. It wasn't. So hot and sweaty. And before I even washed it, so I pre-washed the fabric, but I hadn't even washed the garment once since making it, and it started pilling everywhere. I've never seen anything like it. Like, I'm used to clothes starting to pill a little bit, depending on what fabric, you know, how expensive the fabric was, I guess. Things happen, that happens. It's, you know, it's not the end of the world. And I do have a thing that's like a shaver that I use for my knitting, for example. But these tiny, before the first wash, these tiny little grey balls started appearing everywhere. It looked horrible. It looked like I'd had this garment for years and had treated it very badly. And I had only worn it maybe twice. So I was really disappointed at the quality of the fabric, unfortunately. But I kept reaching for that top all summer because it was the perfect thing to throw on a dress, for example, or if I was wearing just a little top, I would put that in my bag and take it as a very light sort of jacket. So it was such a useful garment, so useful that I sort of forgave it the bad things, and I kept wearing it. And then one day I decided that I'd had enough, so I bought a replacement fabric, same color, and you can see it a little bit here. We'll get to it in a minute. So still drapey, shimmery pink, and I'll put a picture of the original because it did look amazing. And I'd made, at the time I made the skirt, and I hated it with a passion. In that fabric, it looked horrendous. It clung to everything. It didn't have to cling. So that was binned instantly. But the top, as I said, I kept wearing. And then to stop myself from wearing it, I ordered some fabric. This, I believe, was from Rainbow Fabrics, and it was a viscose satin. So it wasn't polyester. I thought, okay, maybe this will be better in that sense. So I ordered the fabric, and this, we're talking maybe June last year, maybe a bit later, maybe July, but around that time. So summer of 2024. And I ordered the replacement pink fabric. I cut out the pattern for the whole set. And then I put it in a bag and I forgot all about it. And I kept reaching for the bad version, kept wearing it. And eventually I just chucked that one because I had to stop wearing it. Because every time I wore it, I was so annoyed and angry at how bad the fabric was behaving and looking, and how tattered it looked for something that was very, you know, fairly new, newly made. So anyway, I had this whole story, this whole battle between me wanting that garment to exist so much and me forgetting all about it. And I've got this bag, I'll show you actually. I have this bag, which is quite aptly a Barbie bag that my mum gave me. My mum bought it for me last year, I think, from the Barbie movie. I love it. It's very big and it has various things that I have at some point started or maybe I've cut out, plus my hands for ironing. Lovely. Let's see if I've got something. Oh yeah, this for example. I've got a beret cut out from months ago in this leopard print fabric. Haven't got around to it, but this bag is where it lives. And the other day, I think I saw someone wearing the Saturday skirt set top. And it reminded me that I had this top cut out. And I finally dug it out. And honestly, it came together in an evening because I'd cut it out already. I can't believe it took me so long to pull my finger out and do it, because now I've made it. First of all, it's so cute. But also I've already once again started reaching for it because it's not as boiling hot at the moment in the UK. So I have been reaching for it to put it on top of other things. And I'll put some pictures up of me wearing it on its own. But right now, I'm firstly going to show you a little bit of the garment in detail. And then I'm also going to show you how it looks, how I'm going to wear it a lot, which is layered on top of this dress, for example. And I should have said what I'm wearing. This is the Sew Over It Leah dress. I love it. I'll put a picture of the full length effect. It's a very lovely dress. I love wearing it. It's very comfortable, but very pretty. All the things that we like. But yes, let me show you the Saturday skirt set. So here is the fabric. As I said, I think it's from Rainbow Fabrics. It is a not super light, which I like. It's viscose satin. So it's got some body to it. It does crease a lot, but I've decided I'm gonna get over that. The weight of it though is beautiful. There's something really luxurious about it. And it did press very well, which I was a bit worried because of the satin. I'm always worried that things will melt. So I proceeded with care, but it pressed very, very well. And I had some overlocking thread that matched pretty well. I'm very chuffed with that. That looks, that makes me happy. It looks very seamless. Not seamless, that's not the right word, but it goes very well together. Now, I think this pattern comes together fairly quickly. It did take me about an evening. Maybe a little bit longer. I think I finished it off the day after, just a few more steps the day after. But it's not super. You could definitely do it if you had a free Saturday or something. You can, hey, Saturday set. You could definitely make this. It's not too time consuming. It's only got a few tiny fiddly bits, but not even that much. Like how you insert the extension here. It's not fiddly. It's just a little bit, not just put two seams together, just a little bit more intricate. But it is a beautiful pattern. My favorite thing about it is the collar. It gives it a very 70s, and I'll put pictures up so you can see what I mean, but it gives it a very 70s look to me that I think looks gorgeous. And now something different that I did compared to last time is that last time basically the instructions tell you that you can, if you wish to do so, you can sew down the facing, because this is how it's finished. It's got a facing that goes all the way around, all the way to the side seam, and around the back neckline, and all the way to the other side, the front and the side seam. So it's quite a big facing. And the instructions say that if you want to, you can stitch it down so that it doesn't flap around, because this is a wrap top, it's not like you're all buttoned up inside it and then you've got a facing that will hopefully stay down. It is a little bit more likely that the facing will flap. And the first version I made, I thought, oh no, I don't want to ruin it with the top stitching. I should have done that because it kept turning around. So the way this sits is that you see the facing rather than the outer of the collar. That's what gives it that lovely 70s look. But when I hadn't, in the previous version, sewn down the facing, I kept getting flashes of the overlocked edge, which isn't the best look, I'll be honest. So this time I decided to sew it down. And to be fair, I had quite a good match of thread. So I'm not too mad about it. I think if you were making it in a print, I would definitely 100% stitch down the facing because it will get much more lost. I am a little bit annoyed that you can see a line of stitching, but I was more annoyed by the flapping of the facing. So this is a better solution, I think. And I understand why she suggests it in the pattern, because I think most people hate a flapping facing. So it's a good idea to suggest it, but she's probably said, you know, you can choose not to do that if you're feeling precious about having the top stitching shown. So it's your choice, but I would recommend doing it, even if you're sacrificing a little bit of the, you know, clean look of the garment. So I decided, even though I had cut out the skirt, I decided not to make it, because I looked back at the pictures and how unhappy I was with the first version. And this fabric is a little bit heavier than the previous fabric, but it's still very clingy, you know, like you can see everything underneath. And that's what I didn't like about the skirt. I think the skirt probably works quite well. In fact, I've seen versions that work very well in sort of viscose linen, something a little bit heavier. It has pockets as well, so they drag down a lot. And I would have wanted to make it with this, with the pockets, which in this thinnish fabric, it just, I could tell that it wasn't going to go well and I was going to be disappointed again. So I decided to just make the top and be very happy about it. So I'll put some pictures or a video up, and I'm going to put this on for you to show you how it looks layered up. Something very cool is how you can tie it in different ways. So you can tie it at the back, for example, like this. See what I mean with the color? Instantly, I feel like Tony Manero. Not as big, but I love it. So this is tied at the back. Love that. And it has these elasticated sleeves, by the way, which are really nice. And I like the elasticated hem because then I can pull them up to do stuff, to eat, for example, and know that my sleeves aren't going in my dish. And so I love this look. And yes, it's very high-waisted, so I would, it's quite cropped. I'll wear it with very high-waisted bottoms, or as I am right now, on top of my Leah dress. Love that. And this is how it looks tied up at the back. But then you can also do this version, which I love. Let's see how it works with the microphone there. Sorry if we lose some sound. But it is tying it at the front. Love that. So maybe with a less high neckline dress underneath, I would do this. Or without the dress underneath, just on its own. It's quite sexy. Let me see if I can show you. The pictures will show it better. But just to give you an idea, I love that. That's so cute with this little bow at the front. So it's a success, a delayed success, we're going to call it. I'm so pleased I finally got around to making it. The color is amazing. It's very Barbie again, which is the vibe that I was still on last summer, and we're still here. And I regret nothing. I think this basically goes with most dresses that I own, that I've made. So it was a good call to make this top in pink. And I'm glad that I finally made it in a better fabric. We'll see how this, you know, how this fabric behaves. But I've had it for a few days now. I've worn it for a few days. There's no pilling, at least so far. The creasing is the problem, but as I said, I've decided not to get too precious about it. I am going to take it off because I am now very, very hot. But hopefully that's, well, first of all, if you didn't know this pattern, go and check it out because it is so cute. And you can't buy the top on its own, you just buy it as a set. So you get the skirt, which I might make at another time in a different fabric. But to be fair, it's not high on my list of priorities. But you buy the whole set and you get both of the top and the skirt, but you can absolutely just make the one, and I would definitely recommend it. So I hope that that's inspired you in the sense of the pattern, but I especially hope that if you've got a project that you've meant to do for ages, maybe you've even already cut it out, you've done the hard work and you haven't got around to it, maybe this inspires you to go and finally give it a go, because chances are that if you really wanted to make it at some point, you'd probably still be very happy to make it. So there you go. The next, before I move on to the next makes, I also wanted to share that I'm thinking of making that for a friend of mine. So I'm going to visit a friend of mine in Italy. She's my best friend, and I haven't seen her in so long. She lives in Italy. I live here in the UK, and I'm finally seeing her after genuinely over a year. Oof, that's bad. But anyway, I really want to make her something, and I don't have loads of time. And so while I made that Saturday skirt set top, I thought, oh, this is something that could be very her, actually. And I looked through my stash to see if I had anything that could work, and I do. Funnily enough, it's another Rainbow Fabrics viscose, not satin, but viscose. It's a very nice zebra, which I really like. It's cream rather than white, the background. It's showing a bit brighter on screen. But it's very classic, a very classic zebra, and my friend loves animal print. And I've had this fabric, I think I bought it on a whim, thinking I just wanted more animal print. Basically, I didn't buy it with a plan in mind. And I've got quite a bit of it. So I think I'm gonna make my friend that top in this. And I feel like that's a fairly good one. So if you know vaguely their measurements, I'm just basically going to make her the same size as me. But it is a wrap top that can be worn on top of other things. So I feel like that's quite a safe one for fitting. And I think in a zebra, she can wear it with so many things. She does wear a lot of black, but also a lot of print. So I think this will go with all her black things. See? And she does love animal print. So hopefully I'll get that done in the next few weeks. But I'm excited, and I was happy to realize or remember that the pattern for that top wasn't too tricky or too lengthy to make. So hopefully it's a good choice to make as a gift. Now, for the same reason, for the same visit, she's got 2 little boys, and I have been meaning to make the next things for basically a year. So I bought the fabric. It's one of those kids jerseys that I buy in Costa Rica. In a few vlogs back, I mentioned that in Costa Rica, where my family lives, there are lots of fabric shops that sell some incredible jerseys for children's clothing. They just have every character you can imagine. And my friend is a big fan of The Simpsons. So when I saw this fabric on my visit last year, I couldn't resist getting this fabric. Batman, so fun. So I bought it thinking I wanted to make something for her newborn. Had she given birth? No, she hadn't. No, okay. So I bought it thinking I'm just going to get it now. And when I know that I get to see her, I'm going to make her something. I'm going to make something for her one kid at the time. I then discovered that she was pregnant, and she gave birth to kid number 2 at the beginning of this year. So luckily I had got quite a bit of this fabric. I think I had maybe 2 meters, maybe even a little bit more. No, 2 meters, I reckon. And so I didn't want to make it straight away because I didn't know when I would see her. And yes, I could mail it, but I don't know. These kinds of things, I really like giving them in person. So I thought, just make it when you know that you're going to see her. And so once I got my ticket to go see her in a few weeks, I set to work and I thought, okay, now you can make the things for the children, because children grow so quickly. There's no point theorizing, make this for even if you make it a little bit bigger, then you might not see them for another little while, and by the time you see them, they've grown out of the size that you made. So I really didn't want that. So I waited, and luckily children's clothes, well, some children's clothes are very, very quick to make, and these certainly are. So I started with, because I knew I had to make 2 things for 2 little boys. One is going to be, I think, 8 months old by the time I meet him for the first time. And so I decided to go with the size 9 months to a year. Just go a little bit ahead, And the pattern that I went for is a Sew Over It pattern. So Sew Over It, which is where I work, disclaimer, I talk about Sew Over It patterns a lot. And we have a children's range called Poppy and Jazz within the Sew Over It family. And there's a few staple children's patterns that I have made so many times for so many friends' children. And my absolute go-to, if I just have a little bit of cute jersey, is the Elm t-shirt. It's a super basic t-shirt. You have different sleeves. I've gone for the long sleeves here, thinking that hopefully it will be useful for my friend's boy in autumn and winter. That's also why I've made it a bit bigger. So yeah, this is the size 9 months to a year. How cute is that? Children's clothes are so cute. Adorable. So no modifications, just straight out of the packet. I actually had that size cut out because I'd recently made the same t-shirt for a different friend's kid. And so that came together in 0 time. Then, unfortunately, I still had a few sizes. I basically, every time I make a version, I've cut out a new pattern. So I've traced a lot of these patterns. But sometimes I do cut into the original pattern. And this one, unfortunately, I had. So I had maybe 3 different sizes all cut out or traced, but no, I didn't have the original anymore. So I couldn't make the same pattern for the older boy who has just turned 3. I didn't have anything already cut in that size. So I looked through my patterns to see if I had any intact patterns that I could get a size 3 to 4 years from. And I found one that's actually for a sweatshirt. So it's the strawberry sweatshirt pattern, which I've made many times. So cute. Usually I've used in the past sweatshirt in fabric or a Ponte di Roma, something thicker. But I thought, there's actually no one stopping me from using a softer jersey. And it's just so cute. It's basically now a t-shirt with a bit more shaping. I mean, they look exactly the same. But this one has a waistband, so it brings it in a little bit at the waist, a bit cool. He's 3 now. He's got a sense of fashion. He's got little cuffs as well. And a slightly wider, a wider neckband. But pretty much the same. Still Batman. So here they are. I think they're adorable. And yeah, I'm glad. So I've had the fabric ready to go for exactly this purpose for over a year now. So I was excited to finally get to work on them. And now, because I realized that mums' lives are hectic and these 2 things look exactly the same, even though they're different sizes, on a busy morning, I thought this is going to be a nightmare for my friend to figure out which one's which. So I've put the initials of the kids. I use my Cricut machine to put the initials of the kids just at the back. So you can tell what the back is, and then you can tell which kid's t-shirt it is. I hope she likes them. I hope the kids like them. I think it's very apt that it's The Simpsons, because it's a big show in that household. So cute. And also it's a bit purple. So Bartman dresses in purple, which feels apt because it's from me. So in the past, for the older boy, I made him a t-shirt with some sausage dogs from his cousin Roy, my dog. So I do like to have a little connection, So that's the other makes that I've put together last week. And finally, I'm going to show you, just to keep myself accountable, that I have been working on my egg sock very slowly. Don't know why I haven't reached for my knitting as much recently, but we have a cuff for my second sock. So if you haven't seen them before, I am making the Eggs on Toast socks. This is sock number 1. So cute. And this is sock number 2. It is slowly going to happen. But at least I haven't stopped completely, I haven't abandoned it completely. There's been some progress. And then I can't fully show you in detail, but I want to give you a little sneak peek of one of the most incredible things I've ever made. If I do say so myself, I'm just amazed that I have been able to make it. And it is a grown-up purple leather bag. What? So I was very, very lucky that this company called Babylon Leather got in touch with me to see if I wanted to try one of their kits. And I have made this. There will be a full vlog next week where I talk you through the whole process, but just as a preview, I am amazed I have made this. It's all hand sewn, so not with a sewing machine. And it's purple and it's the smartest bag I've ever owned and I ever will own. She's beautiful. But yeah, more on that next week. Stay tuned. And of course, on Sunday, there will be another installment of What's the Buzz? My Sewing Bee chats. So make sure you tune in for that. And if you enjoyed today's little vlog, do give it a thumbs up. Consider buying me a coffee. The link is below. Consider subscribing to the channel. I would love you to. And spread the word. Tell everyone about this channel because, you know, I like to think that I bring something a little bit different, quirky and colorful to your feed. So hopefully there's more people out there that would enjoy watching these videos. And until I see you next time, keep making and keep chatting about making. Bye. Has just turned 4.